Hello everyone, welcome back to the Panda and History channel, a channel that helps you understand today, predict tomorrow by looking at history. A lot of global medias today are owned by billionaires and full of propaganda. My video contains some of my thoughts and opinions, but I hope you can think for yourself and draw your own conclusion. In my last video, I talked about Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. I think it adds no value and brings instability to the region, and it actually hurt American interest. Things have developed so quickly, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the fallouts of her visit. First, I must claim that I full-heartedly support democracy of Taiwan, which is vibrant. Taiwan's democracy does not need recognition from Pelosi's visit. At the same time, I'm disappointed about the degradation of democracy in the US in recent years. Remember, one people, one vote does not equal to real democracy. There are so many countries in this world, including North Korea, that has a voting system. But can you say North Korea has democracy? Even Taiwan's democracy is quite young. It was 40 years of autocracy before achieving full democracy in 1990, and the process was gradual and peaceful. This tells us democracy and autocracy can change into each other, just like the yin and yang. There's nothing given that a country is democracy, then it will be democracy forever. In the past 30 years of globalization, the top 10% of US has continuously steal wealth from the bottom 90%. By 2020, the bottom 50% only possess 2.6% of total wealth, and this number is still shrinking. Poverty and poor education cannot be a real democracy. Recently, People's Liberation Army of PRC released a video to celebrate the creation of PLA on August 1st. The quality of the video is quite good. From the sea to the land, from the land to the air, it demonstrates many interesting weapon systems, including fighter jets, warships, tanks, and missiles. Immediately after Pelosi's visit, China announced the military exercise around Taiwan. Although nobody has yet officially called this series of events after Pelosi's visit a crisis, it is definitely a new Taiwan Strait crisis and much worse than the previous one between 1995 and 1996. Many people are worried about the possible war. Why did I predict a war in Taiwan is unavoidable and will happen soon? The power balance between China and US are shifting really quickly, with Chinese GDP gaining towards US. And China is more and more a threat to US dominance and US dollar hegemony. Taiwan is certainly a good card to play by US. During the last crisis, China has 0 airborne early warning and control airplanes. Now it has built KJ-200, KJ-500 and KJ-2000 by itself. Today, PLA Navy possesses the most modern and biggest fleet of the world's of 355 warships, most of them brand new, while US Navy possesses only 297 warships. 30 years ago, the defense budget ratio of China and Taiwan is only 2-1. 30 years later, the ratio is now 23-1. Taiwan Navy has 26 warships. Even the latest one is 30 years old. China made 110 big warships in the past 8 years. 60 of those are equipped with Aegis combat system. And the most advanced ones are even better than US. And don't forget the 2 new aircraft carriers and also the latest Type 003 Fujian. By looking at the maps of the military exercise in 2022 and compare it to 1996, it's easy to see the differences between these 2 exercises. In 1996, the drills are mainly at Chinese side of the Taiwan Strait median line, But in the latest exercise, majority of the areas marked for the missile strikes goes beyond the median lines, and the new areas for exercise are also closer to Taiwan, effectively blocking the main harbors, shipping routes, and air travel routes of the Taiwan island. Some of the areas also goes closer than 12 miles, cutting into the territorial waters and even internal waters, effectively set up a blockade of the Taiwan island for 3 days. Many of the flights in and out of Taiwan during that time had to be cancelled. By setting these exercise zones, China's sending a clear message. Taiwan Strait median line no longer exists. Get ready to the new normal. Of course, US would not accept this new normal. Immediately, Secretary of State Blinken confirmed that US warships would continue to sail through Taiwan Strait. During the 4th day of military drills, drones from multiple countries can be found in the southwest of Taiwan Island. They are from Taiwan, Japan, US, and China. From the Ukraine war, we know the future of wars relies on drones. And Japan is the first to announce that multiple of Chinese ballistic missiles passed over city of Taipei, the capital of Taiwan. Taiwan government didn't intercept them or disclose it. Why did China have such big reaction to Pelosi's visit to Taiwan? The US counterpart, like the White House speaker, seems to be puzzled. He repeatedly said nothing has changed. US still supports the One China policy and does not support Taiwan independence. And there has been precedents that Speaker of House visited Taiwan before. Is China really overreact? The reason why China reacts so much is not only because its power grows and the modernization of its navy. China is not looking at Pelosi's visit as an isolated event. It is one of the series of events that the US is trying to undermine the One China policy, including the recently introduced Bipartisan Taiwan Policy Act of 2022, which is major comprehensive restructuring of US policy toward Taiwan since the Taiwan Relations Act of 1979. According to the US government's own words, the bipartisan proposal expands US effort to promote the security of Taiwan, ensures regional stability, and deters further Chinese aggressions against Taiwan. This bill is very likely to get bipartisan support in today's climate. Secondly, China worries that Pelosi set a bad example. She is the third powerful person in the country, and this may lead to a domino effect. Can Secretary of State Blinken visit Taiwan? Can Secretary of Defense Austin visit? Pelosi opens the door to almost everybody. According to The Guardian, Britain's House of Commons Foreign Affairs Committee announced a plan to visit Taiwan later this year. This exactly the domino block China is trying to avoid. Instead of waiting for the US to use Taiwan as the card, Pelosi's visit gave PRC a perfect chance to change the status quo in the Taiwan Strait. And this 4 days military exercise gave the PRC a very good opportunity to test its plan to take over Taiwan. And so far, except some verbal protest, PRC didn't meet much resistance. Out of all the reactions, China probably cares most of Japan and the US. And for the US reaction, the USS Ronald Reagan nuclear carrier is of most importance. When Taiwan's people found that USS Reagan is actually moving away from Taiwan after Pelosi's departure, they are so disappointed. To understand the importance of USS aircraft carrier fleet, we need to look at previous Taiwan crisis. When the Taiwan Intelligence Agency got from the secret agent in China that China's General Secretary Jiang Zemin had already met with the top military commanders and decided to attack Taiwan in 1996. 15 minutes after this intelligence was passed to US, President Clinton ordered the 2 US supercarrier fleets to the east of Taiwan Islands, which actually stopped the crisis developing into a war. This time, Taiwan people is also hoping the USS Reagan to give Taiwan support. But according to the moving track of the supercarrier, obviously protecting Pelosi is of higher priority than protecting Taiwan. Actually, with the successive deployment of supersonic ballistic missiles, the protection offered by US supercarriers is only symbolic now. I don't see how US can counter Chinese military in Taiwan region. With tensions running high in the Taiwan Strait, China on August 5th said it was canceling some efforts which is aimed to keep communication channels open between Chinese and US military commanders. This including attempts to coordinate air and sea operations to prevent unintentional flare-ups. For example, by warships operating close to each other at sea or aircrafts flying too close in the air. China also suspended bilateral talks and collaborations on issues including the climate emergency, repatriation of illegal immigrants, counter narcotics, and legal assistance in criminal matters. According to Politico, Chinese high military officials did not return calls from US military in the past few days. This would be a headache for Biden administration. At any moment, the Chinese military exercise can escalate into a war. If so, this would be a major miscalculation of the Biden administration. Even if the PRC reaction is surprisingly high, the worst military consequences should have already been estimated and countermeasure planned. Recently, I came across a couple of Voice of America reports on Taiwan tensions of Pelosi's visit, both with title "Majority of Taiwan people welcome Pelosi's visit," and everybody interviewed in the report seems to be welcoming or not at all concerned. But I'm seeing a lot of people complaining and confused as what Pelosi has brought to Taiwan except the dark clouds of war. The last Taiwan Strait crisis lasted 8 months from July 1995 to March 1996. This time the crisis is much worse. There are a lot to watch in the coming months. We will continue to follow up on this and bring more insights for our audience. Thank you for watching. Keep tuned.